Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I don't really do this super often, but today is an extenuating circumstance and we're going to go over why in a little bit. But I'm going to be doing a full spoiler video on everything we know about what's coming to Boxy for February and March. And I normally don't do these unless I have a product in my hands that I'm so absolutely excited about that it like circumvents everything and I just want to jump in. And that is a very special palette that we're going to talk about in a little bit. So if you want to know all things Boxy as of right now for the upcoming months, make sure to keep on watching and please don't forget to subscribe because I do upload somewhere between 3 and 5 times a week and subscribing is going to be the best way to stay up to date on all the fun stuff I'm posting. So if you want to see what this is, see it in action and play with me while we also talk about all things coming to Boxycharm, stay tuned. So I'm going to start with the item that you're all excited about. So I got a package in the mail from Boxycharm. It was a really cute little train case. And in this was the palette in my hand that I'm going to go into in just a second. They also sent me another pair of the CEO lashes from Lily Lashes and Boxycharm, as well as the brush set. I already have both of these items, so I'm going to be throwing them in a giveaway for today's video with the train case as well, because I have 2 of them. Anyway, if you want to enter to win that giveaway, all you have to do is like this video, subscribe to my channel, and let me know what you're most excited about that's coming in the boxes. It's going to be the palette, I know it is, but just let me know down below. In reality, you can comment literally anything and you'll be entered into the giveaway. That's going to run for a couple weeks, and yeah, so let's jump into the palette. So the outside sleeve is a matte black, which is really cute, and when I saw this, I was like, all right, cute. Boxycharm is coming out with a palette. So I did reach out to Boxycharm because I didn't get any information with this, and I was told that this will be coming to all subscribers. So I believe that means it's going to be a base box item coming in the near to immediate future. I did not get what box it's in yet because they did not tell me, but we're going to jump into it today. The exciting part, when you pull the sleeve out, all along the palette on the front and back, see right there, it says Boxycharm Beauties. All of the Facebook groups, spoiler Instagrams, are the inspiration for the package, so I was really excited about that. The Hello Charmer palette is, again, 12 shades, and that is the inside of the palette. It looks absolutely beautiful. I'm going to make sure that you guys can see it in focus, but it is a really pretty palette, and I'm actually really happy with the colors in here because I find that, you know how all of the palettes that have neutrals are always the same neutrals? Like, it is so hard to find a palette that has a good mustard, a nice, like, warm-toned, rich brown. So I'm excited to jump into this. I have not swatched or played with it at all. I love when a palette has a matte white. I'm just going to say that outright. So I'm going to move the stuff I'm doing for the giveaway out of the way, and let's jump into the palette. So I don't love doing swatches. I might swatch after we try it out, but I do like to start by demoing on the eyes. So we're going to start by taking the shade Spoiler right here, which is definitely on the yellow tone side, but I think we're going to get a nice blend on there and it'll give us a nice transition. At first glance, it doesn't look like it's doing anything, but you see that definition there? This is actually a really, really beautiful transition shade because it is defining the eye. And I think this is going to be a really great shade for blending out some of these deeper tones. So these are blending beautifully. Well, this is blending beautifully. I've only used 1 shade, but it does define pigment. So it is actually showing some color. What I'm going to do now is jump into a slightly smaller brush. Let's grab this one. And I'm going to go into Cup of Joe down here. These names are really cute. And I'm going to take that on the tip of this brush, and I'm going to go right in the socket just to add a little bit of definition. Yeah, you see how beautifully that blended into that yellow shade? It's not overwhelming at all. And you still see the yellow. A lot of times with palettes, when you start going in with multiple colors, the whole thing turns brown. This is not turning brown. This is actually giving me some really nice color. The one downside I am seeing to this palette, just on initial look, is that this shade is the darkest matte tone. So if you're a lot deeper than I am, you may not be able to use all of this without another palette. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to load a brush up on this brown shade, and I'm gonna see how dark we can get that color. All right, so you can definitely build it up to get definition, but I think if you are a lot deeper than I am, or even a little deeper than I am, you may not be able to get as much use out of this palette unless you augment it with another palette, which, because of how vibrant these colors are, I think it will show up really beautifully on deeper complexions. But like I said, you are gonna have to go into something darker for your definition. So you guys know, I'm always gonna go for purples, and I think today is gonna be no exception. I'm gonna go into full size right here. On camera, it looks blue because it's got a blue shift to it, but depending on the angle of the pan you look at, there, maybe you can see it, it goes from purple to blue. So I'm gonna use the dual chrome color. So I'm gonna grab that on a flat brush. I'm gonna start with it dry. Actually, no, I'm gonna wet it first. Just save myself the time because I always wet my shadows anyway. So I'm gonna wet that, and I'm gonna take that on most of the lid, but not all of the lid. So the color's really pretty, but a brush is not doing it justice. So I'm going to go on my finger and pull that across the lid. I don't know if you guys can see the purple and the blue on the eyes, but I see it in person. I'm getting a little bit of fallout, which honestly it happens. That's not the brush. No, that is. And the fallout dusts right away, so you're not dealing with like an exorbitant amount of fallout. I'm going to grab that brush I was using, if I can find it. There it is. So I'm gonna grab the brush I was using, and I'm just going to, now that the shadow is down, I'm just gonna move it where I want it. That's stunning. On camera, it's not doing it justice the way it does in person. Where is my phone? I'm gonna put the flash on my phone and hopefully you can see what I see. But it just catches the light in such a beautiful way. All right, I'm gonna go do this on this eye and I'll be right back for the next shade. All right, now that that color is down, I'm gonna go back into the brush we used in the crease. Not adding any additional product, I'm just blending. Whenever a palette has a white in it, I love taking like a transition brush, taking a tiny bit of the white powder and doing it on the brow bone and blending it down. I just find that that softens everything and highlights the brow bone. And I love a matte brow bone highlight. All right, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab a liner that kind of matches this tone. I want that like bluey purple. I'm gonna put that in the waterline, and I'm gonna throw on mascara and lashes off camera, and I'll be right back to tie up the lower lash. All right, so the liner, let me turn that up. The liner is on, and it matches beautifully. It's an Urban Decay liner. I am gonna grab a pencil brush with a tiny bit of that same shade, full size, and I'm just gonna lightly blend that over the liner. I love the effect that has when you take a really pretty shimmer shade and blend it over a shimmery liner of the same color, because it just enhances the sparkle in such a beautiful way. Plus the liner is blue, so when the eyes flash purple, you still get that like dynamic look of the two different colors, but then when it flashes blue, it's super matchy-matchy. Going into a larger pencil brush with Cup of Joe, that brown shade, I'm going to blend that on the outer portion of the eye, really just connecting it to the outer corner. And then going back into Spoiler one last time, I'm just going to blend around the lower lash. I'm gonna grab Pop Up right here, which is a really foiled metallic, and I'm gonna take that on the inner corner. I'm gonna take a brush that's a little bit flatter and pack it on. Yeah, there we go. You see how much better that is when you pack it as opposed to buffing it. So this shade actually performs just like the lid shade. You want to make sure that you're not swiping it, that you're really just patting it on where you want it to go. Now I'm going to go off camera, finish up the face, and I'll be right back to talk about a whole bunch more spoilers. All right, I am back. The face is done. The blush I use actually takes me to the next product. So I jumped into my Hourglass Ambient Lighting palette, and I mixed these two blushes right here. Every single premium box for the month of February is actually going to have one of 4 different shades of Hourglass blushes. I actually love the way they have this really subtle glow to the skin. I did not overboard OD on the highlighter today. This is actually all just a really pretty shimmering blush. The Hourglass formula diffuses light. I mean, it's called diffused light, but it diffuses light. It isn't super drying, so the powders actually work even on dry skin. And as far as blush is concerned, they are some of the most neutral, beautiful blushes ever. I used to be very anti-blush, and it was actually the Alamar blush palette and the Ciate blushes that really got me in love with blush again, and I love just the life that the Hourglass ones give to the cheek. The second premium spoiler is going to be Sutra Flat Iron or a Carity palette. I'm going to put both pictures up on the screen. That is a one or the other, not both. And the third item is going to be, I actually used it in a first impressions video. I didn't love it and actually ended up giving it away. But it was the Watermelon Glow Mist from Glow Recipe. Little too glowy dewy for my personal taste. The next item, which is actually a base box spoiler, is going to be the Iconic London palette. I did a whole video on this, which I will link up here right now, so you guys can see a little bit more in depth. I'm going to be completely honest. The formula is not bad, but I didn't love the way the palette performed. I actually think this one performed a lot better, but as far as its personal preference, these kind of colors don't excite me the way pops of color really do, so that's a personal preference. If you like more neutral tones, I think you will love this palette. Just as far as I'm concerned, I love a pop of color. The other few items that are variations in the base box are going to be either, and I'm going to put pictures up on the screen, a brush trio from Alamar Cosmetics, which are all going to be complexion brushes, which I love their brushes. I'm in my dirty cup right now because I just used it. But I still use the eye trio that we got a couple months back. Actually, it's like almost a year ago already. But I love those brushes, so I'm really excited to get my hands on those. There's also a sponge set from Luxie Beauty. I know Luxie is a brush brand, and the brushes are okay. They work well, but I've never tried a sponge from them, so I'm eager to see how that actually works. The other items in the variation for the base box are either going to be a QMS Hydrating Moisturizer, a Becca foundation, which if you took the foundation quiz, it's going to help pick your shade. And the last item from that variation is actually the one I'm the most excited about, and that is the Kate Somerville Serum. I find that Kate Somerville is a great brand, and I love a lot of the products from them I've tried, but I've never tried the Lifting Firming Serum, so I'm really excited to get my hands on that. So that is February in a nutshell, but oh my god, the most exciting news is actually for March. So the March base and luxe boxes, there have been a couple spoilers here and there, which I'll link some posts because I don't want to go into all that right now. But the most important news and the biggest news is that the premium box is actually going to be a brand collaboration takeover. The entire premium box is going to be 6 products exclusively from Fenty Beauty. I love Fenty. I love the brand. I love pretty much every product of theirs I've tried, from brushes all the way down to foundation, concealer. I love the bronzer. I have highlighters. I actually have a lot of stuff from that brand now that I'm thinking about it, but I'm so excited for that box because I would love to get my hands on even more Fenty items and really play around with whatever they're curating for Boxycharm. Anyway, that is it. I hope you guys found this video interesting. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and enter the giveaway so you can win some Boxycharm goodies. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe down below, and comment pretty much anything, and that will enter you into the giveaway. All rules will be down below in the description box. Thanks again, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.